Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the surprisingly good Ratchet and Clank. I do want to mention really quick, because some people are probably wondering about the shirt. This is my physical labor shirt, as Darkrai so accurately put it. And this is the... I've been moving heavy stuff today for a big yard sale. Except for Ratchet. Screw Ratchet. Negatives to Ratchet. But yeah, this is... I may be called upon at any moment to go and also continue to lift heavy things. So I'm just going to stay in the heavy labor shirt, and we're just going to live with that. Now, if you'll excuse me. So yeah, we've gotten to Nalhutta, as you could see. What is the name of this planet? Where are we? Orxon. Oh yeah, I wanted to tell this story. So this is going to sound like bragging, because it is. I'm going to be very honest about that. But, oh my god, that map. Holy crap. So I had to move a bench forward. Now, the bench actually splits into two parts, which makes it a lot more palatable. But it was a very, very frustrating and irritating bench to move. And finally, all I did was just kind of held it up like... My arms were like under it like this, and I was just holding it up here and holding the bench over my head going down the stairs. Now I managed, I did it, but about halfway down the stairs, like the idiot I am, my first thought was not, oh my god, I need to not drop this down the stairs. It was, I wish someone was here to take a picture of me so I could prove that I could do this. But Sis was so busy selling stuff. We've had a non-stop perusal of people showing up at the yard sale. Although, funny thing, the first, I don't know, 5 or 6 people, all of them, they all wanted jewelry. Which makes sense given current economic situations that people want fungibles right now. Like every single one of them is like, hey, do you have any jewelry? No. Well, I've got a weight, I've got a scale. I can tell you if it's gold or not. And I'm just like, we're just being polite. It's like, no, we're not selling any jewelry. Well, if you have any jewelry to sell, you can call me later, but we're not selling any of the jewelry. Another person shows up. You selling any jewelry? No, we're not selling jewelry. Yeah, for those of you not aware, it is a very, very common tactic to try and digress to gold when there are economic hard times. It's actually very normal. This has happened every other time we've had any kind of economic blip in the last 40 years that I'm aware of. How viable of a strategy it is, it's a little more debatable. Kind of depends. Oh, the real estate market is all over the place. Great time to move, by the way. I think I can make that. You mean a year from now? On the 26th. Okay, that's not bad. Well, Clank deserved that. Oh, 100% Blade 12. No, these are... I don't want to call them grifters, but they're grifters. They're people who are just trying to take advantage of anybody willing to sell whatever. That's why they were so pushy. This one dude capitalized on my sister's attention for, I swear to God, 10 minutes. You sure? You sure? You sure? You sure? You sure? Yes. We're not selling any jewelry. Okay, so we've got some Doom bots. That's the funny thing, Judo Joker. That's why they're buying. That's why they're buying gold right now. Is because they want gold when the when the economy turns around.
Gadgetbots can't climb, but you can use your enter command to send them into the bot ports.
Okay. Hello, Madeline. Welcome to Ratchet and Clank and casual lore, because I might be called upon to be a forklift again. I should have asked if he wanted bolts. Yeah, by the way, the average turnaround time. So one of the biggest question marks, there's two big question marks for moving for us. The first is how long it'll take to sell the house. Excuse me, let me be more clear about my terminology. How long it'll take to close on the house. And the second is how long it'll take to finish and sign on a new house. Those are the two big question marks, right? The reason I bring that up is right now the average turnaround in this neighborhood is about 2 weeks. Sorry, that's not accurate. I'm sorry. Let me be more clear. I apologize. I'm kind of wigged out because I was woken up immediately by saying, hey, can you lift heavy stuff? Forgive me. The high end of turnaround is 2 weeks. The average is closer to like 4 or 5 days. Okay, we got them all up here? We got them up here. Okay. Follow me. Yeah, houses are moving a little bit too fast. It is technically good. That's for our exact situation, it is a good thing. From the macroeconomic perspective, it's a terrible thing. But like, there's not a lot I can do about that. So whatever, we're part of the problem. Yay! It also means buying a house is going to be a little bit more of a hassle. Why is that a bad thing? Oh Jesus. Okay, so let me sit here and talk about economics for about 3 hours. Nobody wants to hear me talk about economics for 3 hours. That is a more complicated question than it looks like. So forgive me for just not answering that question. Yeah, the really funny thing, I don't know if this is true in any other country, because I know most countries are having a bit of a housing issue right now. What the hell is that? Oh my god. Okay. Here in the States, one of the biggest issues we have is that a lot of people treat housing as an investment. And by people, I mean mostly holding companies, right? Now, you might think, well, yeah, but put extremely simply, bad things happen when housing becomes an investment rather than a house. Oh, so it's Maddie Lynn? I apologize. I didn't mean to get your name wrong. Sorry. Yeah, housing is a place to live. It's people. So the problem is a lot of people, a lot of holding companies, will do everything they can to raise the value of houses because it's an investment for them. They buy it for X, they sell it for X plus Y. Basic stuff. But the problem is, every time the price goes up, it pushes it a little bit further out of range of more people. Think of it like a line graft. The higher the value and the price of the house, the less people can actually afford it. The problem is, people aren't, you've heard of the invisible hand of the free market, but in reality land, people just keep doing things forever because they're stupid. And I'm not trying to be insulting, this is a statement of fact. People just keep trying to chase the trend forever. And so we actually have a huge amount of houses in the United States that are just sitting empty because they are luxury houses, or they are big houses, or they are fancy houses, or they're houses in very expensive areas. And people can't afford those. So I'm not even gonna get into gentrification. That's a whole other thing of nonsense. And yeah, there's actual, a friend of mine in Canada can go across the street and see houses that have been for sale for months that are not moving because they're too expensive, and then go about a block down the road to find homeless people crouched under a bridge. That's... yeah. I don't know what else to add to that, honestly. That sucks on every level. So, yeah, we actually have plenty of housing. Like, one of the funniest things I'll hear people use as a talking point is, we don't have enough houses for people. Bull crap! We have plenty of housing, plenty of space, and plenty of resources for new housing. Housing availability is not actually the issue. Okay, so I need 6, I think it was? Yep, okay. Let's go kill this guy first. You ever heard of the French Revolution, Rex? Alright, so I need you to kill that. Kill, please. you. Yeah, that's the other wild thing. For those of you not aware, almost every single housing lister real estate thing out there will have a... one of the statistics it will show is exactly how long it's been since it was listed, how long it's been sitting on the market. And as Noctis points out, people have this really awful tendency of saying, oh, that's been on the market for like 3 months. What's wrong with that place? And as Takoida pointed out earlier, a lot of people refuse to lower their prices. I'll be honest, that's one of the few things about all this that makes no sense to me. Like, I get the pride and stupidity parts of it, but, like, at some point or another, you have to realize it's not selling. It's just not. So why lower the price? Lower price equals more people buy. It's one of the fundamental principles of an economy. Oops, I missed a few. Did I get him? Nope, I did not. Come on, come on. Onto the teleporter. There we go. Is that all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. In you go. So that's an interesting point, J. Palmer, but here's the thing. Thanks to how taxes and thanks to how squatting works, if you sit on a house for too long, it costs you money to squat on a house, put very, very, very simply. At a certain point in time, you more or less can't make your money back. Smart people would recognize that. Ah, okay. And reach a point of being like, okay, before we get to that point, we need to sell. Jesus, Darkrai. And yeah, that's another thing. Sorry, crack inside. I didn't mean to ignore you, but like, I've noticed a lot of people don't really understand that the land is honestly the majority of the cost for most of these things. It's why it always irritates me when I see houses that have huge giant lawns, and I'm like, we don't need or want huge giant lawns, right? That's a whole lot of extra expense for something we don't want or need. Yeah, giant lawn is more money and more upkeep. Oop, 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 oop. Yeah, you know what really depresses me? Legitimately depresses me. The housing situation in the United States is pretty bad. And it's better here than in several countries right now. It's the GTA 4 thing, right? For those of you who've never played GTA 4 or are not familiar with it, one of the main plot points, one of the main thematic points, excuse me, of GTA 4 is that, you know, the game and obviously Nico make fun constantly of how pathetic and terrible that Roman is. But Roman's actually successful. Now, he still, you know, is subservient to Russian gangsters, and he still lives in kind of a crap apartment and blah, 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 blah. But he has success. Like, he has successfully made it by more than one metric. Here, please. Thank you. So in other words, that's the ceiling. That's another thing. U.S. has tons of buildable land. I do like Star Trek. That is true. we're paused on the Star Trek lore run right now because we got to the fight in Voyager, and then we were like, you know what? Let's go look. Let's go look at something else. Okay, so it looks like I didn't leave anybody before here. So let's see if I can pull these this range. Come here. Hey. No, the wrestling nipples is the wrestling episode is Tachanka. No, that's wrong. That's the planet for the Krogan. Sinketsi? Oh god, nope. That's the alien race from DS9. I can't remember the name of it. It's some weird name that starts with a T. Okay, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Hello? There you go. I get in there. No, 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 no. This is enter. Sunkatsi, that's it. Either way, the fight is the Chakotay boxing episode, if you're familiar with it. So the fight is the boxing episode, and Tsukatsu is the wrestling episode. Because for some reason we had both. I mean, Tsukatsu was a big cross-promotional thing. The Rock is in Tsukatsu. And yes, he does the people's eyebrow. Before you ask. Listen, but if land was cheap, then people would want to buy it, Darkrai. Magnet boots.
These Magna Boots are a device designed for climbing special metal surfaces. However, your feet appear to be too small to equip them.
I mean, the Clank section's fine, but I've been thinking about this for a bit. It mostly feels just there. Is that just me? Like, it's inoffensive, but at the same time, it's just a little bit slow. Like, we talk about something called time to quit. Or not time to quit, sorry, wrong terminology. Time to solution. And time to solution is exactly what it sounds like. It's the moment, it's how long it takes for the player to have reached a solution and then to implement the solution. And the time to solution here is just a little bit too high. Right, I figured out most of these puzzles basically immediately, and then it took several more minutes as we were just chatting about housing in order to actually get through and do them. I can't even buy stuff, that's funny. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't spend a lot of time engaged. I mostly just spend time like, okay, hang on, let me wander over here and do this and blah, blah, blah. I don't know, I could swing a negative. It is a bit of a pacing problem. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Opinions. And that's an easy question, Jay Palmer. I prefer the gameplay where I'm actually doing something. I mean, no, Jay Palmer. If the pacing were fine, it would be a neutral. I don't actually consider these to be good sections, to be honest. Camera really wants me staring at the ground right now. Come over here. And yeah, backtracking, bad backtracking, to be more clear, is the kind of thing that absolutely leads to, you know, increased time to solution. Is this a first game? Actually, no. This game has so much of the DNA of Spyro, there's no way. I don't know how the later games play, because I haven't played them. But this is a Spyro game with slightly slower speed and a couple of different gimmicks. Now that's fine. I'm not saying that as a negative thing. I'm saying that as a statement of fact. Yes, this is the same developers as Spyro. By the way, who wants to guess when the second game finished installing? $2 a.m. is pretty close. 4 a.m. is a bit too far. No, I finished at about 1 something. I don't remember the exact minutes, because by then I was exhausted and just wanted to go to bed. 1 a.m. is a bit late even for me. But if you're paying attention, that means I was wrong. It really did take more than a day. Like we were saying, it'll finish today, right? It did not finish today, aka yesterday. Hang on, I've got 4 guys here. Well, I was going to, Rax, then I saw the next one was, however much this, it's like 6 gigs instead of 20. I was like, you know what? I don't feel like dealing with that, and I just went to bed. I was specifically staying up to do that. My own stupid fault. I didn't realize the next one would be so small. Yeah, that's what I thought. I figured I was missing some. Alright, get in there. Download queuing? What's that? Does it save progress? No. I tested that too. I tested it early because I didn't want to waste too much time. But I was like, alright, I'll wait till it hits like 2%. And okay, pause. Start over again? 0%. It's possible, however, it's doing that weird thing where it's like 0% of what's left. And it was at 2%, but if it did, I had no real way of verifying that, because the amount of feedback on the PS3's interface is so minuscule. I'm missing one. What am I missing? Oh, does it save here? We'll find out. So anyways, there might be a stream interruption in the future. I may or may not subject you to some phone streams. Ah, there it is. I just straight missed it. That's funny. What's with all the giant sarlaccs filled with toxic goop? I know this is a toxic planet at all, but Jesus. Yeah, some of you were there for the old phone streams. They're gone now. Listen, I need you to eat this nuclear waste. And then they turned into CEOs. Hey, Ross. Hey, Ross, you've watched most of New Trek. Did they ever really talk about what happened to Cardassia or Bajor post DS9? Because to my knowledge, no. I mean, I know the Ferengi eventually joined the Federation, but whatever. And look hideous, by the way. I'm sorry. Those new prosthetics. Wow. I guess prosthetics is wrong. Makeup? We'll go with makeup. So once again, STO is the only thing that actually covers post-DS9 to any substance. We have a post-Voyager. Why don't we have a post-Deep Space Nine? No, my Doombots. I would actually say they look worse than the new Klingons. If you haven't seen it, look up Discovery Ferengi. Just do an image search. You know, that's actually fair, Bleach Ball. That was true even when it was coming out. That's why they had as little oversight as they did. Yeah, exactly, Jay Palmer. Yeah, no, it's awful. Legitimately awful. I try really hard not to be too judgmental about, like, alien makeup design or whatever, but Jesus Christ. There is a difference between, you know, cheap and bad. It's worth noting that the actual Ferengi prosthetic for, say, Quark, we'll use an obvious example, is neither cheap nor bad. That was actually a fairly expensive setup, with a lot of time and thought never put into it. Which, that's the thing, a lot of people give flack for the fact that most aliens in Star Trek are humans with some putty put on them. But honestly, that's really dismissive. A lot of Star Trek aliens have... The Star Trek makeup department, let me just put it that way, is pretty legit. And has been since, I'd say, about Season 3 of TNG, give or take. I can try to miss any this time. Nope, okay. Yeah, early Worf, yeah, you could tell they were just reusing some of the old movie stuff for Worf. Yeah, as I say, you gonna let me do anything with this army of robots? No. Also, to go back to that story discontinuity problem I've talked about, why is this... Like, I know that this isn't technically the homeworld of the enemy. This isn't the capital of the enemy, but this is functionally the homeworld of the enemy. And it feels so devoid of anything. I think that's part of the problem we've been running into. I think I'm actually going to give a negative for that. I think this is the first time I've ever given a negative for NPC set dressing, because there's just an absence of characters. And once again, that is a problem Kingdom Hearts 1 has as well. How many characters are in the Tarzan world? If we count Kerchak, 6. Or not Kerchak, sorry, Clayton. If we count Clayton, there are 6 characters. That's also counting the monkey. The monkey was voiced by Whoopi Goldberg or whatever. Like, there's... God damn it, Blaine. Like, there's nobody there. Remember when we did the city level? How many characters were in the city level? Two. That's my point. Wait, who's the third? Thank you, Valerian. Oh! That was my back. I don't know if you heard that. Always appreciate, Marion. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a busy day for me, speaking of which. I mean, the good news is the reason I do basic weight stretches every day is to make sure that it's not a sudden thing when I'm suddenly called in to lift something. But I usually don't lift an oak shelf that weighs more than I do. Let's see, what did Valerian put that towards? Let's see, Valerian says, I hate you. I hate you. You are the devil himself. And how dare you stop streaming for even more than 1 millisecond in order to move. It is dealer's choice. Oh, you got it. Okay. How we looking? Speaking of which, how we looking? 43%! Whoa! There's nothing I can download. Alright.
Better not let Ratchet see this one.
Uh-oh. I haven't tested anything yet, actually. What's the download speed? We can figure that out. So, it takes about 2.5 hours in order to download 6 gigs. So, whatever that is. I will probably never do a video series on Orville because I'll probably never do another video series again, period. Maddie. However, I have seen a few bits of Orville. Orville's such a strange show to talk about. Because on the one hand, I hate it. But on the other hand, it's fascinating and awesome. What? I guess this way? I'm not sure where to go. No. Maybe this one. No, it literally has to be this way. I'll try this, but I don't think so. So, one of the biggest things I don't like about the Orville is actually really easy to explain. It's the humor. I've never liked the Seth MacFarlane brand humor. I understand that it's not necessarily his thing. I understand that it's the humor he is known for, and then I understand that a lot of executives pretty much mandate it for a lot of his shows and movies and everything he does. Like, and he himself has talked about how he'll only get stuff greenlit if he agrees to do his style of humor for it. I also know that Seth MacFarlane is interested in, like, doing more creative pieces and is a huge Trek geek.
Hey! You giving me these or not?
They are magnetic. I appear to be stuck to them.
Oh. What do you have in there?
Gears, metal filings, dust.
You know what I mean. What is it?
I will show you this, but you must promise to stay focused on our mission.
Is it something about Quark?
Cities are full of smog, swamps are full of muck, and tar pits are full of tar. But here at Joe I Resort, the sun shines 24 hours a day. Visitors get a free O2 mask to explore our warm waters. The benign marine life will welcome you to the big blue world under the sea. You can also use our complimentary flippers to partake in speed swimming. So come to Joe I Resort and leave your world and your troubles behind.
July Resort, Pokitaru.
I knew it.
Oh, come on. Switch off your nerd circuits and have some fun. Look, we'll go just long enough to pick up the O2 mask.
Perhaps the extra oxygen will help your brain to function properly.
Yeah, and maybe the salt water will rust your mouth shut.
Yes, Ross, he did. No points for guessing why. Well, I'm thinking it's at least one negative act. Possibly two. I'll have to decide that. You could kill Ratchet, would you? Yes! Alright. Sorry, what? I think my mission objective is check out the resort. The good news about the negative to Ratchet is I think we're more or less over the worst parts of it. Like, we're already past the point where Clank had to strong-arm him, actually blackmail him, into going and helping innocent civilians. And we're past the part where he decides to, like, have a brain for no reason, then get angry for a good reason, and then stay angry for 3 planets. Interesting music.
Hi there, Fuzzball. That's a real beauty.
Decoy glove, Visibomb gun, and Walloper.
That's a real beauty.
Decoy glove, huh?
That's a real beauty.
Alright. See, I disagree, Primarch. I've noticed a lot of the dialogue is very... One of these days I need to come up with a term for this. It's that thing where the writers assume that the characters know everything that the players do. Players, viewers, readers. And so they all act as though all of the characters are fully cognizant of everything we have already seen. But they're not. And the whole game has been doing this. That's not just exclusive to the cutscene we just saw.
Hey, you two are the first friendly faces I've seen in weeks. You are friendly, aren't you?
To you, yes. To him, no.
Well, friend, have I got a deal for you? Since the Blarg began dumping their toxic sludge into our ocean, the wildlife has,
Become ravenous mutants?
yeah, you could say that. All my customers either left or became lunch. So I'm closing the place down. However, I just so happen to have one, count 'em one, O2 mask left.
How much?
It's not for sale.
But you said...
I said I had a deal, and indeed I do. You boys get rid of those Blarg ships, and it's yours. Just escort me to the other end of this resort, and you can use our jet fighter.
Jet fighter, eh? All right. But you better not try to stiff us.
Oh god, it is actually an escort. Okay, That is a good way to do an escort quest. Make it so that he's invincible. I'm dead serious. That's actually one of the cheapest, easiest ways to make an escort mission tolerable. Just make the escort completely invincible. God dang it. I don't want to lock onto those guys, did it? Yeah, that's why I'm saving ammo for it. Died there. Come on, camera. Come on, camera. Jesus. Does not want to turn sometimes, I've noticed. Usually when it's interacting with something. Why are there so many fish? Don't ask that. Like he was just standing there like, what? Adding a PvP stat? Honestly, I think they should have either committed completely to that or just removed gear from PvP entirely, like some MMOs do. Okay. Round 2. Well, everyone can suck a lemon, Uber. I'm going to say this very simply. Gear has no place in PvP. It really doesn't. PvP, by its very definition, is the League of Legends thing. You don't want variability. You don't want to gear up. You don't want someone who is McLaren, who just has the better car than everyone else. Yeah, exactly. PvP is all about skill and players and team composition and coordination. Gear shouldn't even be part of the equation. And I can actually point to several MMOs who do the no gear thing in PvP. In fact, I think it's most of them at this point. Okay. That's what I wanted to happen. That's a good thing that just happened. Oh, I know Huthor. And they can suck a lemon, too. I got lots of lemons. Don't worry. 3 lines. No waiting. I mean, people complain about literally everything. That new accessibility feature, people are already complaining about it a lot. I had to actually stop reading a thread that I was reading to try and get more information about the actually new new content stuff that's coming out in the next patch. And people are just like, oh my god, accessibility sucks. Why don't you just get an AI to run your game at that point and not even play the game? Oh my god, I do not like these enemies. And to be very, very clear, I'm calling it an accessibility thing because it is. At its fundamental core, it is a form of accessibility. It is there for people who have issues, or don't really know the class, or playing an alt for the first time, or just need help for whatever reason. That's what it is. Or just don't care. Yeah, they don't care about actually putting out an optimized output, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with not getting sweaty. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Ion himself will back me up on this, because I think he also called it an accessibility feature. Because it is one. Exactly! See, Noctis gets it. Oh, you are correct, Kraken-san. And actually, I'm with that. The accessibility feature is not there for people who want to do super hard content because, and this is important, most people who need that feature aren't playing super hard content. That's not what they're here for. I know this is gonna sound strange, but hear me out. More people play WoW for more than one reason. I know that's shocking. No, I'm actually backing Ion's play completely here. The haters can go hate. Whoop, hang on. That is... What is with the bridges on this planet? Yeah, I know people who have never raided in one. You know how big of a deal raids are when it comes to content in WoW. That's another thing. Okay. Oh. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Let me say thank you to Don. Thank you, Don, as always. Can someone tell me what Ratchet, Clank 2 and 3 are really quick, please? I know I ask this every single time. One of these days, I might actually memorize them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you remember when they had those servers where everyone had literally the exact same gear for arenas? I actually was in favor of that. Okay, so 2 is going commando, and 3 is up your arsenal. And then Deathloop. The last Dishonored game that we haven't covered. Yeah, exactly, Maddie. Some people... There's so many reasons. There's so many reasons to have proper accessibility. And frankly, as weird as it sounds, if there's one thing Blizzard has been good about for years, it is accessibility features. The fact that people are complaining about this one is nothing new. People complain about every single other accessibility feature they've added to WoW over the last 15 years. Anyways, sorry. What the hell was I saying? Transition to content, right. Have you ever... Don't even get me started about the gear thing. I've been hearing that since BC. Have you ever played an RTS before? Anybody who's hearing this, you don't actually have to answer, but just in your mind, I've played an RTS. Yes, no. RTSs, good RTSs with longevity, follow a triple prong of content, and this is consistently true, and this is proven for years. The first step is the campaign. The overwhelming majority of your players will play the campaign. Like statistically, if you track what percentage of players do the content, almost all the players do the campaign. It's a huge percent, like 90-something, right? So most players do the campaign. Of those, some people are like, that was cool, but I want more. So what do? They hit the skirmish circle. And from the skirmish circle, which usually involves comp stomps or just, custom maps or whatever, you then develop from there into the competitive scene, right? And it's less players each step, but the skirmish area and the custom maps and then the competitive scene give longevity to a game. Keeps it in cultural consensus or consciousness. Keeps it cultural consciousness and keeps people aware of it. Keeps people playing it. Keeps people talking about it. There's a reason we still talk about Age of Empires 2 in 2025, right? Sorry, I have 1 health, so I'm being a little overcautious right now. I do apologize. The reason I bring all this up, though, with regards to WoW, is one of the things that cycle follows is because it's more great.
Now where's that fighter?
Right there in that locked garage. One tourist crashes a jet and wham! Lawsuit.
That lock is unlike any I have seen.
Very astute observation, Mr. Shiny. I can't open it either. I don't trust the tourist, and the board of directors don't trust me. So we have a little problem.
We have a little problem. I just want the O2 mask. So if you can't open up the lock, that's your problem. Now cough up the mask.
Well, I can see that you really wanted to fly our jet. So I'll tell you what. Go talk to Bob at his Robo Shack. He knows about these locks.
He's 20 feet that way. What are these cutscenes? Oh my god. Gradient difficulty and options like that are another excellent example of that kind of tiering when it comes to players. In other words, onboarding. Most people will do like the quests in an MMO, for example, and then some people will do dungeons and then some people do raids. But once again, having a gradient there helps to onboard people. Let me use the RTS equivalent because it's easier to explain this in RTS terms. If you have the ability to fight an easy AI computer in a skirmish mode, you are more likely to keep playing skirmish mode. And by sheer virtue of being more likely to play it, you are more likely to go ahead and try something else, maybe something more challenging. You may not, that's fine, but having that initial step helps to onboard, right? I think so, Primer. That's what I've seen anyways. It's the same thing with these kind of accessibility features. It's the same thing with things like the follower dungeons over in World of Warcraft. It's a way to help you just kind of like, okay, here's what a dungeon is. Okay, here's what an easy dungeon is. Okay, here's what a normal dungeon is. Okay, here's a heroic dungeon. Here's a mythic dungeon. Here's a mythic plus dungeon. You get the idea, right?
Use the special features of a Gadgetron thruster pack to activate this switch. You can find one at Bob's Robo Shack, just around the corner.
Oh, that's funny, Darkrai.
Well, what have we got here? Hey, watch it. I recognize that work. Y'all been to Seattle, ain't you?
Yeah, he installed the helipack.
I can see that. I taught that idiot brother of mine everything he knows. Look, if you want some real hardware, I can fix this little feller up with a thruster pack. Ooh.
Will it help us get past that weird lock by the fighter garage?
Ah, you know about those gizmos, huh? Well, it sure as heck will. It's got a real special power slam move built right in.
It's a good thing I need this to get to that jet, or you'd be out of luck, pal.
I've got it. I'll have you fixed up faster than a horny toad a-hopping. Well, there you are, little buddy. Better than new. That's right. I am the man.
Yeah, not bad.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. Work for that.
Yeah!
Press the square button to fire the machine.
Oh god.
And press the circle button to fire homing missiles. To go faster, hold down the X button. Shoot down those small enemy ships to get more missiles.
Now this isn't pod racing. How are those ships staying in sequence? I've played Centipede. When you knock out one of the middle things, it's supposed to screw with the rest of them. Oh, they actually reattach. Never mind. Ah, okay. I withdraw my complaint. Magnets, how do they work? Sorry. Star Fox here. I'm not even mad. Yeah, I didn't get ammo for quite a while there. Were they stealing water? God, I don't remember. I remember there were far fewer planets in the movie version. I feel like the movie version's also a shorter game overall. I could be wrong about that. Well, yeah, the ammo's valuable, Noctis. Duh. Mission complete.
Well, I guess that should do it. Here you go.
It's about time.
Yeah, speaking of which, if there is one thing... I know we've talked a lot about the movie game. If there's one thing I thought was bad, I think is the way I'll put that, about the movie game, it's that you could always tell when it's a game cutscene and when it was a movie cutscene. Every single time. So, back to Toxic Planet? Wait, hang on. Primarch says I have to stay here. I have decided, out of nowhere, to stay here. The time has come to use the button. Yeah, exactly, Don. Recording has been blocked as you've entered a restricted scene. That message. By the way, whenever we stream that, I'm just going to stream that. I can suck a lemon. It's a lot of lemons. I'm telling you, I got a whole crate of these suckers. How's our yard sale going? Surprised I haven't been called up again. Let's see. There's still people buying. Looks like we haven't sold the bed yet. That's a shame. This is sorting out the books. Looks like we sold most of the hardware. That's nice. Not a lot of the baby stuff, though. Yeah, tell me about it, right? I think... some of my spare exercise stuff sold. I don't see it over there. I know, right? Who would have a baby in this day and age? I don't want to sound in any way judgmental. You can do whatever you want to, but like if I actually had a wife or a significant other, we would have a very serious discussion about not having children. Because, you know, duh. I've been debating a negative for something, and I'd like your guys' thoughts on it. It's a really minor thing, but it is a consistent problem. These feel like HMs. Thoughts? Yeah, no, it's crazy, Doom Rider. Yeah, it's sorry. So HM is from Pokemon. It's a key, but it's a key that takes up a slot. So I have to either leave one of these here because I use them all the time, or I have to do this and equip it from here in order to be able to progress in an area. And in gameplay terms, it's a key. And most HMs are that. So it's like it's a two-for problem. On the one hand, it's just a key. And on the other hand, it's something that takes up a slot in where I could otherwise, you know, have an actual weapon on this wheel, you know? And yeah, in Pokemon, if you'll remember, or maybe you don't remember this, Pokemon got rid of the HM system. They just started baking that stuff into gameplay. Like, it no longer... Like, cut still exists as a move, but you no longer need cut in order to be able to cut through something, if that makes sense. So, HMs are gone. And yeah, I'm one of those people who was like, oh, thank God. HMs are finally gone. So, has to be one of these two. Yeah, it's just key item stuff instead of, you know, taking up space. There we go. Oh, that's another thing. In the older Pokemon games, you have to go talk to someone specific to get rid of things like Surf and Cut. You can't just replace it on the fly and in the field. Okay. Oh. You know, I think you're actually right, Blade 12. Because didn't they add that dude who lets you get rid of HMs in order to make it better? in order to get rid of that particular problem? Yeah, as much as I hate to add more gameplay negatives, I think that deserves it. Yeah, Gen 2, exactly. Yeah, I tend to point out to a lot of people, Gen 1 isn't that good of a game. There's a reason it's in the awful block, right? Gen 2 is when it started becoming Pokemon. Like, there's a surprisingly large amount of core features that Gen 2 added to the franchise that a lot of people don't realize came in that far in. Hell, even the special attack, special defense split didn't happen until Gen 2. And yeah, unique Pokeballs, eggs, the HM thing I just mentioned. Certain things about how looting works. A lot of the RNG was completely changed. A lot of how the AI works was completely changed. I don't actually know when shinies were added. Oh, I'm sure that was at least part of the thinking, Rex, from like a marketing perspective. I was pretty sure they added that, but I don't like to talk about stuff I'm not 100% sure. Going. That's exactly true, Noctis. Anyway, so I think Gen 3 is when the Pokemon series actually started getting good. Because before then, it was just total trash. Oh, I can't say anything. The first Pokemon game I really got into, like, as in, no really, was Gen 4. Although, for what it's worth, the first Pokemon game I enjoyed was Gen 2. Bots? Bots? Thank you. Okay. I have a feeling you'll enjoy Arceus, but I'm just going to say right now, the story's trash. Just terrible. Gameplay is some of the best we've ever seen in the Pokemon series, though. I've ever seen, anyways. Okay. No, fair, Rags. I'm also one of those strange people who actually defends Sword and Shield story for actually being good, because it is. And this is when we run into definitions, because the reason I say that so definitively is because most people conflate story with plot. And even then, they're wrong. So let me explain that a little bit. So a lot of people point to the last, say, hour of plot of Sword and Shield and say, and that's why the plot sucks. There we go. No, you're right, Huthor. I myself have pointed out many times that outros are more relevant than everything else because that's one of the last things you're left with. But I do think it's a little bit dismissive to say that all of the story of Sword and Shield is terrible because of the last hour of the main plot. Now, I'll tell you the actual main plot of Sword and Shield. So there's Marnie's story and everything going on with that, and the concerns with overutilization of the, I can't remember what it's called, the resource that leads to the Gigantive whatever thing. And the football tournament, which is actually pretty well done and interesting. It's not great on things like, say, character. I'm not going to try and tell you about that. The only interesting character in Pokemon Sword and Shield is Marnie herself. but there's a lot of surprisingly good world building and fleshing out of a culture where football, Pokemon, is a major cultural thing. Which I know sounds weird because I'm like, isn't every Pokemon game all about Pokemon? Not really. Not like this. Like, there's a lot of little stuff that helps. It's brushstrokes, right? It's a lot of little stuff that helps to flesh out. Oh, jeez, I have to kill all these, don't I? Flesh out the world. Flesh out Britain. That's just all what it is. Game. Yes, I know the others went into the water. I saw what happened. It's just... Yeah, actually, Rex, that's a good way to put it. Favorite Pokemon game in terms of story. Any story. So not just plot. Hey, Zar. Having never played the GameCube or N64 ones, I can't speak to those. Agreed. Well, they're both on the list now, thanks to the virtual store thing. Goddamn gaming is such a pain. Yeah, I remember playing one of the N64 games in a Best Buy and being extremely bored by it because it was just battling. And I lost interest inside of a minute. Okay, real talk. Are there too many of these? I didn't say if they're good or bad, Primark. I said, are there too many of them? You know, I can't believe I'm going to say this, because my first thought was Gen 5, but honestly, I think I'm going to go with Sword and Shield as my favorite story overall. I stand by what I said. I love the fleshing out of the setting. I love a world that feels like a believable, lived-in world that also happens to include Pokemon in it. We see so many little tiny details throughout the course of the game of just everyday mundane stuff, and I eat that up. You know, I love seeing ground floor things, right? Yeah, the plot, well, okay, the ending, the outro is crap. I'm not going to defend it. It's really stupid. I'll even tell you, I'm just going to spoil the outro for you. You ready? Okay, so the big evil guy, who is neither big nor evil, says, hang on, there might be an energy crisis in a millennia. We have to deal with it right now! And the guy says, no problem, we'll deal with that soon. But I gotta go, I've got a match. I gotta go do a match right now because football is a big thing, and I gotta go do the match. Okay. And the guy says, no, you don't understand. It's a big deal. Oh my god, I gotta deal with it right now. And so he unleashes the devil, excuse me, the latest legendary. And then you go fight the legendary and you win. That's the outro. It's pretty dumb. Oh, I didn't even want to talk about the post game. Do you like rich aristocrats who are uppity and snotty? Have we got the thing for you? I wasn't even counting post game though. If we count post game, a lot of the games kind of track a little bit differently.
Hey, what are you doing here?
I'm searching for a very elusive and secret substance.
Raritanium?
Maybe?
The oceans on this planet are said to be an excellent source of that element.
Well, not anymore. All that toxic dumping has obscured any trace of it. You will find raritanium for me.
No, I will not.
Piece of junk. My latest invention, the Persuader. I intended to use it to control minds, but, well, the only thing it's gotten me so far is a discount from Gadgetron vendors.
Hey, I could use that.
Well, I'll trade it for some raritanium.
I believe planet Hoven is a source of that element.
Our long-range sensors do not detect raritanium on this planet. Our database indicates that the best place to locate this mineral is on planet Hoven.
Interesting, Rex. So, Planet Hoven, huh? Okay, I can do that. Alien Earth. How be?
Our long-range sensors detect raritanium on this planet. Our database indicates that the best place to locate this mineral is on planet Hoven.
It's the only game with a discount. Interesting. Hoven, huh? Hoven. Which, Oh. Well, whatever. I've got the gas mask, so... Oh yeah, space station's the other one. Camera? Oh, there we go. Is that thing sleeping? Oh, goody. That's exactly what I want to hear. Welcome to hell, Lore. Lord knows I've already been having issues. Wow, okay. So, where is... There.
I got some great bargains for you today.
I was thinking about doing that anyways, but I'll take that. Ooh. Really, game? Please, game? God. And we're dead. Okay.
Hi there, Fuzzball.
Oh, I have no idea. Just his mask. 12, 13. Almost all of which is in one spot, too. Just a mini-boss I just kept running into problems with for no reason. I didn't give a negative for it. No need to get defensive. I can even do it for the boss, because the boss is boring. Game, he's right there. Christ. It's okay, Rax. I know I suck. You know, one other thing I've noticed about beloved classics? This is pretty common. Think of a beloved classic in your head really quick. Now think about how much you enjoy the first parts of the game. Now think about the point at which it hits the sunshine point. I've noticed a lot of beloved classics hit Sunshine Syndrome pretty hard.
I got some great bargains for you today.
Including Mario Sunshine, while we're on the subject. I know a lot of people have put Mario Sunshine up pretty high, but they usually only replay the first couple of levels, you know, the good ones. Metal Gear Solid 1 is actually a good example of that for Lictum. Also, while we're on the subject, getting shot by someone from a million miles away. That's pretty awesome, too. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is another good example. Honestly, pretty much every GTA game that isn't 5. Well, of course I don't have another thing. Why would I? That's just crazy talk. No, that... What is that? What is that weapon? That's the Mind Glove. Replace that. No, it's fine. I was actually considering dying on purpose anyways, because that pulled me down to... I can't strafe. It pulled me down to 1 health. So I was debating just dying here. You know what? Yeah, actually. Let's just reset our health here. Three shots. was weird. No explosion sound. Well, that looks like hell. Oh my god, the controls. Oh my god, no, no, no. We do, Lord Paramount. So, okay, to be clear about this, I'm going to hit right. Okay, that's going right. Now I'm going to hit down. So, the problem with the controls is in first-person mode, they are single inversion. Now, I've actually talked about this before because some games do this, and it's terrible, and don't give you an option to change it. I think this is one of the things. Single inversion, if you prefer single inversion, no judgment. But statistically speaking, single inversion is the absolute worst possible. Because people who prefer double normal are going to be thrown every single time they use it, and people who prefer double inversion are going to be thrown every single time they use it, because one of them is reversed and one of them is not. I just showed you what single inversion is. This is me hitting up. This is me hitting down. Up, down. Single invert. Now, this is right, and this is left. But this is up, and this is down. That's single inversion. So if you wonder why I keep constantly having issues with that, that's why. I don't know. So, I don't think I have the option to change. I'll double check in a second. Because I'm almost positive that the only thing I can do is change the camera settings, which is already double inverted. I know that says normal, but it actually is inverted. But yeah, the emulator allows me to fix it. Not the game. Why do single inversion on an aiming mode? I'm actually really confused by that. Excuse me, why would you ever do that? Yeah, if you hit down right, it goes up right. If it went down left... Or, sorry, if it went up... Hang on. Oh, God. I can't even do it. If it was double inverted or single inverted, even if that's not your preference, at least you can get used to it because both axes are the same. Right? But when it's single inverted, only one of the axes is wrong, and that's why it constantly throws you, as you're constantly having issues with it. Yeah, I can get used to double normal. I have. My niece prefers double normal for a lot of games. And so she prefers to have the camera set to double normal. So I can just get used to that. But single inversion is just... Oh. Yeah, if I'm going to be doing more first-person stuff, let's see. How do I rebind it just for that? Well, really quick, I'll be right back while you're looking at it. Okay. Several heavy things have sold, but not the actual bookshelf yet, which is the thing we really, really want to get rid of. Okay, so... No, shoot. Whoops, wrong thing. Hang on, hang on. Okay, so that's correct. Wait, what's going on with the PS3? What? What? Okay. Sure, it'll download something over the course of like 12 hours. Well, we'll come back to that, I suppose. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, several of the heavy things are sold. Not the heaviest stuff. The stuff that needs to sell the most. So, fingers crossed, someone shows up who really needs a new combination desk bookshelf thing. The fridge is actually staying with the house. It's going to be part of the package. Rax, if you come down here and take it, it is yours for free, but you have to come and take it. How am I supposed to make... That does not look like a jumpable jump. Okay, hang on. So let's just grab a quick save really quick here, because this does not look doable. That's because it isn't. Okay. Accept that. Oh, you son of a bitch. I do like how we lean. Because, you know, rounds over there. So, sorry, was it like the one who would do the best job, or the one like... Go away. I forget the specifics of what you asked, because I get the XO question in various formats infrequently. Yeah, the funny thing is the bookshelf in question is actually a really nice bookshelf. But it's extremely heavy. And kinda awkward. Like, once it's in place, it's fantastic. Right, best to take over in the event of Captain dying. So let's just say this very bluntly. Riker is at the top of that list. Riker is a captain in all but name, and he probably is the person who most understands what the job of a first officer is. I am a little bit biased because Jonathan Frakes is amazing, but... yes, Rex, although... it's not going to help me. Because the problem is... Well, maybe I could do that? Hang on. Maybe I can do that. Hang on. I just had a terrible idea. So let's invert that. Okay. Hang on. That's true. Chakotay is, by the way, the worst by a huge margin. I would put T'Pol above Chakotay, and she isn't particularly good at commanding. She's still better than him. Wrong menu. Hang on. Wrong menu again. Why are there multiple settings windows depending on which setting window you click? That's really frustrating. Wrong. That's still wrong. Okay, what am I doing wrong? What did I do wrong there? I would probably put Kira above Spock. Why is it not doing it? It's not, do I have to apply? Is that the problem here? Is there an apply button? So there actually is an apply button. Okay, so hang on, so... Apply. Yes, that's a hell of a warning label. I feel like something's wrong here. Okay, hold on. What? The warning is this is going to overwrite all of your existing settings. Yeah, I'll be with you in a second, game. What's the map button? I legitimately can't remember what the map button is right now. Because that's what it's doing. Select. Okay. I don't even know what's doing it. Here, if I put the controller down, it actually feels like the 6-axis is doing it, which is funny because I don't even think that's an option here, as far as a thing. Yeah, let's go back to. Oh. Oh, I see what the problem was. Yeah, so let's restore all defaults. Yes. Oh my god, that's actually okay. Give me a couple minutes to completely rebind everything from scratch. No. Up. Up. Oh no. Okay. Hang on. Hang on. So it's not recognizing the controller anymore. Oh, god damn it. I still don't know why it's doing this. I don't see an option for anything for motion. I don't even see a motion button. I was looking for that earlier because it's clearly doing that. Unless, of course, now it's not. Okay, so right analog is doing something. No, don't. What? Alright, hold on. This is ridiculous. Hang on. Etch a sketch here. Okay. Okay. We're back. We're never beating this game. Okay. I suppose I could still implement the fix. All we'll do is do that. So now we're single inverted. But... that... we're suddenly double inverted. Nope, that's still wrong. How do I don't know. Oh, god damn it. I'm never listening to Rax again. So we're back to single inverted because the thing that's reversed is the left and right. Not the up and down. Okay, so... ah! What button was that? What did that? Oh, Jesus. Okay, we're good, we're good. Okay, so that's correct. And that's correct. Okay. We have successfully fixed the camera issue and given a negative. Moving on. Game! Why? Why? No, I don't accept whatever the hell that was. I now have no choice but to accept whatever the hell that was. I wasn't trying to hover. There was no attempt to hover. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go fix my hotkeys. Because it changes your hotkeys, too, when you do that. Emulation is like anything. It only does what you tell it to. Okay, so... what is that? What is this and why is this going... what is this? What is popping up each time when I hit that button? What is this? What is happening? What setting got changed where? How do I destroy it? Okay, right, I found it. Okay, so... there. So now... de-interlaced mode has been changed. I don't know what, like, any of that is. There it is. Get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. I'm just gonna undo, like, all of these, honestly. Just get rid of all these hotkeys, all the function hotkeys, because I use function keys for... there's apparently a frame limit we have now turned on, which we need to turn back on, because we're running at 130 frames a second right now. I don't know what that is, Rex. Oh my god. Oh my god. Come on. This is not complicated. How about this? There. You can probably tell because the sound effect was getting a lot faster. In fact, here, if you want to see what that's like. So this is uncapped frame rate. This is a speedrun. Alright, so let's recap that frame rate. Yeah, we figured out how to make it a Spyro game, everyone. Cap it to 1. No, I'm not that, you know, self-hating. It's not like Mario where 1 CC is actually kind of interesting. Remember, you don't get Lombaxes wet, you don't feed them after midnight, and you don't let them have coffee. Okay, so save. Perfect. So, let's try that again. No, it's my fault. I accept the blame. Although next time I play a PS2 game and immediately freak out because my right trigger is wrong, someone remind me that I rebound. Or my right analog, excuse me. Someone remind me that I rebound the right analog. Oh wow, he went back to sleep. No! 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 I do not accept that. I do not accept that. I'm sorry. Of course it's not there. Listen, I've heard from many people that the PS2 games are the best games ever. The PS2 is the greatest of all consoles. Yeah. Hey, there you go. No, I can argue that by sales figures. Good morning, Evo. I want you to do me a favor, Evo. I want you to kill me. What's weird is that spot before the fence is such an obvious checkpoint, right? Fine. I'll put on my maid's outfit just for you. Landing. I can't use special weapons here? Oh, that's even worse than I thought it was. Why? No, I spent the morning moving heavy things, Evo, so... Alright, hold up. 57 negatives for the fact that for racks. 57 more negatives for the emulator. No, we're not gonna cheat. I mean, it's pretty bad, this checkpointing here. Like, this is a really bad checkpoint. And yeah, there's, like, no reason for it, really. Like, I know this is gonna sound strange. This isn't what I would call a hard section. Annoying section because the birds like to hover right above where you can hit them. That's not even close to what I hit, but I'll accept that. That's sure, I accept. One way to deal with the problem. I'm gonna indulge in a save state. I don't want to use it. It's kind of a psychological thing, you know? Ah! Camera. Ugh. Where's the guy? There he is. Ironically, this could be even worse. Heavy sleepers. Indulge in another save state I hope to not use. So I actually know what's up next. Are you kidding me? Okay. Good morning, Walker. Ah! Cock tease. Verb. When you tease someone and have no intention of ever fulfilling them. I PB good fate. There we go. Jesus.
Hello again, everyone. Supreme Executive Chairman Drek here to fill you in on our progress. We have now found the perfect orbit for our planet, one which will allow for the optimum temperature all year round. However, there is a planet now occupying that orbit, and sadly, for its few insignificant inhabitants, it must be destroyed. That's why we've created this! The Planet Buster Maximus, a device capable of blowing an entire planet into subatomic particles. We're quite proud of it. Here's how it works. We attach the Planet Buster to this ship, fly it into orbit around the planet, and let it go! Kaboom! Quite ingenious, really. Once our trained professionals put the finishing touches on our new planet, everything will be complete. Thank you. Goodbye.
Now this guy's gonna blow up an entire planet? That's just mean.
That's what I've been telling you.
Look, I'm still gunning for Quark. If we end up taking out Drek too, hey, fine.
I think we might...
You do care.
Don't push it, pal.
As I say, I think we might finally be past the fake drama section of the game. Also known as about a third of the game. And yeah, blowing up a planet, killing everyone on is mean. Sorry, kinda mean. Let's be more clear about that. Whoa! Okay. Hi. Uh-oh. I accept what just happened. Yeah, well, Ratchet, what do you consider evil? Oh, I don't know. Where am I going? I'm actually really turned around now. Okay, I guess either way works. You know, that's actually true. Doesn't he get really pissed off when it's like, oh, that's where I live, though. You're not allowed to go after where I live. I didn't think the cheetah would eat my face. What the hell? There we go. Hold on. We're not even done yet. Oh, God, yeah, we have a whole section we haven't done yet. Yeah, explore as Ratchet. Okay. Well, we got the infobot. Yay. I can't tell if it wants me to go there or here. Wait, the first one or the second one, Primarch? I mean, honestly, yeah, most people do not understand what blowing up a planet is like. Not really. It's just psychology at that point. Having a health up would be nice. 30,000 bolts isn't happening. We might cheat literally just for the sake of reviewing. I've kind of been wanting to avoid cheating because I want to see how the itemization, cost, and just general gear progression is in a normal playthrough. But once we get to the point where we've already kind of, you know, we're done, it might not be a terrible idea to go ahead and... Oh, God damn it, I hate everything. To go ahead and just cheat and be like, all right, let's check out all the things. let me ask you a question for those of you who like to replay this game. And feel free to answer however you want. I'm not looking for a specific answer here. How far do you replay on average? Like, what point do you put the game down? I hate these birds so much. About the kind of answers I was expecting. Everything, or don't replay the game at all. Oh, I hate it when I go like that after deep runs. I hope you recover soon from whatever it is. Allergies, fatigue, fighting something off. Jackass. Where is he? There he is. Okay. Just get stun locked to death there. So I have no camera control right now. The game is flat out not allowing me to change the camera. So I can't tell where I'm jumping. So I'm going to do a blind jump here. And that's why I didn't want to do a blind jump there. God damn it. Got the remake. What more do you want, Melkor Blade? Whoops. No. I want you to know I'm glaring directly at you, Lord Aramon. Directly at you. That was actually funny. I got this. And was like, "What are you doing?" Well, I'm using your weakness. Well, it's not actually our weakness. What? No, I actually didn't see your question. Let's see, how we doing? How we doing? Sell the beds yet? Nope. Haven't sold the giant inflatable whale. Anyone want a giant inflatable whale? It looks like we did sell that, though. It's nice. So hang on. Evo asked a question. Hang on, let's scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Am I having fun with this game? No. I actually haven't been having fun for a hot minute. I don't even apologize for that fact. I think the last few levels have kind of sucked. Like this... There's been a couple of issues here and there, but like this level is not what I would call good, and is probably where I would put the game down under a normal playthrough. So, because I want to do anything other than play this game right now, one of the things I recently came into possession of is a box. And it was just a box of stuff, right? It really was just a random selection of things. Yeah. All right, hang on. I'm having trouble finding it. Ah, there we go. Okay, whatever. I'll find it later. Ah, didn't actually find it in time. It was taking too long. Don't want to bore you too much. So, one of the things I found was, of course, I can't show you this now, was some of the levels I used to design. Remember I mentioned I used to do that in my spare time? I just sit down and design levels. What in the world is this? Oh, that's from the bench when it was on my head. Right. Anyways, I also used to design manuals. Level 4 has these enemies in it. And that boss. And these power-ups. But no, the real thing I wanted to show you. So, some of you have heard me talk about how I used to raise money to buy my own video games when I was young. That's not being facetious, and in fact, I don't know how many of you have ever been part of this culture, but there's a whole subculture of the world. Hang on a sec. You see that? It's rendering wrong. Something I hit somewhere is rendering wrong now. I know you can't see it. The whole subculture of hitting garage sales, right? And just perusing and finding what you can, all the stuff. Now, I used to hit a lot of those because we were poor, and there was a good way to get like furniture and stuff like that. Also, very, very rarely, there would be a thing where they would actually sell like a video game, and I actually got a few of my old NES games that way. But no, the main thing I would do is I would sell. And I would put up these kind of signs, and I would put them up in very carefully. I put a lot of thought into this. It was like, okay, garage sale signs, really big sign, colored poster, so it pops out, and cut it into the shape of an arrow. So at a glance, what you see is a big orange arrow pointing that way. If you get closer, you see in Sharpie, garage sale. You come down, you start to see these things, and, shoes, $1 for a pair or whatever. And I would always sell less than, like my dad or my mom would say. It's like, why are you selling shoes for $1 each? And it's like, because people will buy them. Because I understand economics, you idiots! And so even as a kid, this is the only one I'm saying, I got a bunch of these in that box, but even as a kid, I understood that if you put a lot of that extra junk, that's just going to go into the trash anyways, right? So put that out there for sale for really cheap. Make sure it's something that's easy to handle. Never do like $1.37. That's stupid. No one's going to do that. You make it $1. You make it $1, $5, or if you're really feeling antsy, $10. Make it something that they're going to have lying around in their pocket or in their wallet, right? And you go ahead and you sell stuff, and you put that together over time. Yeah, this is my Sonic shirt. Yeah, big, round numbers only. And that's how I would buy a lot of the video games I bought back in the day. And video game books, of course, as well. Because I used to love... You probably don't even remember. Most people listening to this right now probably don't remember. But back in the day, a whole bunch of different companies would buy or make and sell strategy guides, but not like what you're thinking of when you think of strategy guides. It was like maps. sometimes hand-drawn maps. Okay, here's this power-up, here's this stage, here's this thing. And it wasn't for one game. You'd get a book like this thick, and it was like 20 different games. Here's all the stuff for the Mega Mans. Here's all the stuff for Mario's. Here's all the stuff for Milon's Secret Castle. Here's all the stuff for Bionic Commando, etc. Right? Stuff like that. And I used to just buy those. Yeah, the unofficial strategy guides, exactly. Now, it looks like the rendering glitch is not gone. What is that? Did that fix it? No. How about that? No. Right here. Do you see it there? It's on the left edge. Do you see that line of pixels that's just discolored on the far left? That's new. That wasn't there until I hit the default button. And something somewhere has screwed that up. I also don't know where software... Takoida mentioned software mode. I don't know where that is. Might be related. Yeah, there's some kind of weird artifacting going on here. Where is... This is just the day. That's just what we're kind of chilling. I hope this is cool with everyone. I apologize for those of you who are just here to watch Ratchet and Clank. I'm probably not the person to watch that anyways. I know there is a software mode because I remember even seeing it, but I don't remember where it is. Casual Friday, I mean, pretty much. Nope, that didn't do anything. I mean, but it wasn't there earlier. Where's the software option? Where's render in software mode? That's what I'm actually looking for, and I don't know where that is. I know I've seen that option before. Let's see, is it here? No. Okay. Oh, there it is. So that's software mode. Good news, we weren't in software mode. Bad news, that didn't fix it. What is doing that? I'm gonna have to figure that out at some point, because that is just very strange that there's just suddenly this line of garbage code on the left. Whatever. Back into position. I'll just live with it. If anybody knows it, like, it feels like looking that up. Like, I've got a line of bad pixels on the left. You know, actually, let's just go with the really, really obvious solution. Just in case that fixes it. I doubt it, but I mean, it is the obvious solution for a reason. Nope, didn't fix it. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever. I'll just live with it. Okay. 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 What is our PS3 doing up here? Photo gallery. Sure. Moving on. Alright, I suppose I can't put it off anymore. Let's go ahead and actually play the game. I guess I'll play the game that I'm here to play today. Ugh. Having to actually play a video game for a living. Could you imagine? Oh, gauche. Wow, I'm just really low on ammo. We've still got a ways till the end of the game, from what I understand. If I'm lucky, we'll beat this game today. I don't know, at the rate I'm going. I got my PS3 for $100, so I can't really complain about it. I've gotten more than use out of it just professionally, if nothing else. Okay. Where's my Devastator? Oh, there. I have enough shots to kill this guy. Where is he? Where's he gonna pop out of? I think it comes from Halo. No, just her. So there's this thing called Naked Greed. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Naked Greed, actually, let's actually talk about this. Naked greed is actually a specific type of greed. It's when you're not obfuscating or hiding the fact that you're greedy, and there's no justification for it other than the fact that you're greedy, and that's it. Yeah, it's overt greed. And you're probably thinking, but the tariffs! Yes, but let me give you a little bit of history. 100% of the time, so some people aren't aware of this, the United States has tried to apply the tariff solution before. It has failed 100% of the time, because it's a terrible idea that a grade schooler could tell you is a terrible idea. But let's ignore that for a second. So, every time they try it, what happens is most major companies, especially ones that do a lot of international business, like anyone dealing in electronics, what they will do is they will go ahead and say, all right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to raise our prices to accommodate the tariffs. Then the tariffs go away every time because they're a terrible idea, and when they go away, do you think the prices go down? One of the single biggest contributors to the all-important inflation that people won't shut up about is actually that. And yeah, it's also a problem. So, I've said before that inflation's kind of fake. To explain that in slightly more detail, inflation is something that can be argued to exist for several real and practical reasons. But what usually happens nowadays when people refer to the word inflation is not actually inflation. What it is, what you're seeing is redistribution. They try to overall... It's very, very simple to understand. Very, very basic example. Raximus, who is an evil CEO who likes to sell emulators, he decides, okay, I'm going to go ahead... Oh, so I can. Nice. He decides, I'm going to go ahead and sell my emulator. It costs $100. He has to hire people in order to make that emulator. Okay, cool. So he gives his employees, let's just say $50. This is very, very basic made-up numbers. Now let's say an event happens, or time passes, or just something goes further on the line, and Rax decides to up the price to $120. Now, do you think he then raises how much he gives his employees to $60? The answer is, of course, no. What he'll actually do is he'll either raise the price he gives to his employees either not at all, so they're still getting 50, or he'll give them an inflation raise, which is like 52. So if you're paying attention, the percentage of the amount of money going to him versus the percentage amount of money going to his workers has shifted. And this happens across decades over time, especially across the larger, long-standing companies. And so bit by bit by bit, more and more money just kind of starts to flow upwards in larger and larger increments. That's what people mean when they say inflation nowadays. That's why things are more expensive, is because we're being charged for more, but our buying power hasn't changed. Make sense? Now, that's an extremely simplified take on that, but that's the general gist of why I say inflation is kind of a made-up thing, and people like to use it as an excuse for all kinds of crap. It's like, well, this is worth more because of inflation. No. We actually have tangible evidence of the fact that inflation isn't even inevitable. That it is possible to have a quote-unquote stagnant economy. And you think about it like, oh my god, stagnant? That's terrible. No. actually, by most accounts, having a stagnant economy is a good thing. Because stagnant economy means no inflation, no deflation. Your buying power stays relatively the same. Now, there are some issues related to that, and that gets into some extremely complex macroeconomics, but you get the general idea. What is it, Rex? Bingo, Lord Harriman. It's actually... It's rendering in DX... okay, hang on. Render. What are we rendering in? I guess we could try OpenGL, maybe Vulkan? Oh, let's do DirectX 12. Whoa. Okay. Hey! Thank you. Appreciate you. Yes? You've got to be kidding me! Okay, well, I successfully made it one screen forward. And I am, a very small amount of inflation can be a good thing, but you have to understand, we're talking about 1/10 or 100th of a percent. Rather than, you know, what we actually see. 1 second. I'm not going to shut off the stream just yet. Give me a sec. Okay. So apparently it has just started raining. Pretty hard, actually. So we're going to do the lunch break here. After like an hour and a half of this nonsense. I'll see you in a bit.